Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is part 2 of my EDC tool kit. What we'll do here is we will start with the spine, this area here, then we'll move into the elastic bands and then into this pouch. So what I have here is a Widgie pry bar. I believe this one's the 4-inch one. I had a smaller one in here before. It was about 2 inches and I really couldn't get any leverage, so I ended up putting this one in there. This is just a Velcro cable tie for securing wires. What I have here is a piece of shock cord, a pre-made lanyard in case I need to use it for something. It's the perfect length. This is a bank line here, and this is my preferred method of lashing things and tying things. And this is just a very small hank, but the paracord was a little too heavy, too beefy for it. It was just too bulky. This is a piece of fat wood. It's just another one of those crossover survival items, but if I needed to make a fire, I have that in there. By the way, I love the way these things smell. I have a chisel, Stanley chisel, and I keep the tip protected with this small piece of rubber on here, but this one is 3/8 small chisel. I have assorted ties, zip ties, and I also have some cables back there, some cable ties. And these are stainless steel. And then this is just some shrink tubing. And you would use this to make some sort of an electrical repair, perhaps putting two wires back together. And it gives you some insulating properties. So that does it for the spine. Move into the elastic bands. What I have here is an Allen wrench left over from something, so I stuck it in there. Small binder clip if I'm looking to hang something or keep something together, perhaps something that I glued. This here is the P51 can opener. It's a little bit bigger than its little brother. So this is the larger one. Here's the other saw I talked about. This one's a little bit smaller. It's okay, but it's a little difficult to get any leverage on it. I mean, you could cut a plastic bottle in half with it, something like that, but I prefer the other one. So this is just a little backup, smaller saw. Do have a little razor as well for some fine cutting, making small incisions, cutting tape and things like that. This comes in nice and handy too. This is a magnifying glass, stainless steel one, put out by True Utility, and this is a 5X, and it's a very nice eyepiece. This one is really, really nice. I'll set this over there. This here is a Gerber small folding knife, and you can replace the blades. It's like a utility knife really, and once they get dull you just simply replace them. And what I like about this one is it locks, and it does have a little clip if you wanted to clip it on your pants working on a project. You don't want to keep going back and forth. Have a little fire starter here. This is mesh metal. and I would use it with the ultimate striker to get a nice spark out of it. This here is just the sockets to the socket wrench. Just 5, very small. These are metric, but I wanted to have something in there. I also have a very small adjustable wrench, very tiny, and this thing is pretty neat. I do use this. And over here I have what's called a wrench tool, and this is pliers. It does have a little knife in here, but the blade doesn't lock on this. It does have some bits in here. This is also an adjustable wrench. As you can see, it opens and closes. This is the plier section. This is a little socket here, and you would put your bits in the front, and it does come with a pocket clip. So this is a nifty little tool, and you just simply unlock it right here. Let's see if I can give you a shot of that, and that's how it works. Set this over here. Pair of Uncle Bill's gripper tweezers. They come in handy. They're some of the better tweezers I've seen out there. This is another striker. This one has magnesium and a small fire steel. So this one gives you both. Under here, in a small plastic bag, I have a USB drive. This one's 16 gig, in case I need to save any files or anything like that. My survival kit, I have a totally different setup, but this one here is just for saving files if I'm out in the field or something I need to put something together. I do have a folding knife in here. This one's a Griptilian. It's pretty beat up. I ended up ruining the tip a little bit, cutting away some roots. Yeah, I know you're not supposed to do that with a knife, but... And this one does have the serrations on it. A little bit of pain in the butt to sharpen the serrations. And this one is D2 steel. So I do have a knife in there. I did buy a replacement already for it. This one here is the same thing, but without the serrations. And this one is 154 cm, but it's basically the same knife. This is going to be the replacement for it. As I said, I like to tweak this system. I've been going back and forth on the knives to put in there. I was going to put this Pocket Bravo in there, but I just think it's a little too expensive for this little kit. But I do prefer a fixed blade knife over a folding knife when I'm doing very hard work. This is a neat little blade. It's small, it's compact, it'll fit in there. But I think I'm going to go either with the folding or I'm going to go with this small personal survival knife. This is the PSK. And this one's kind of like too nice to put in there too. Has those mosaic pins on it. Very nice blade. So that's the knife that's in there. This might be the future knife to replace that one. Back here I have a Leatherman Squirt little multi-tool, and what I like about this tool is the obvious, the pliers. They're just very, very nice. Now I am thinking about putting a full-size tool in there. I have a charged TTI as well, but you know, the issue with that is the weight. It just takes up more space. So for now, I have this little squirt in there. Works fine. And that's certainly a keeper. Pair of nail clippers, Revlon. Just a pair of cheap ones, but they come in handy, especially if you're cutting nylon or fishing line or something like that. These are the smallest vice grips I could find for the kit. They're about 5 inches. I believe they're made by Irwin, the original vice grips. And this is kind of a must-have item. Sometimes you just have to cinch down on something and keep it from moving. And in the back here I just have a Gerber Sharpener. I'm sure most of you have seen these before. This one is a diamond rod. Putting an edge back on a knife, a hook, or anything else. Now over here I have a small light. This is a Gerber Light. It's one of those Bear Grill type lights. It's just a backup light. It works well, but the reason I like it here is because it has this long string and it doubles as a tether to get this zipper open very nicely. Now what I have here is a card reader. This one's by Vivitar, 50 in 1. I don't have 50 cards, so I probably use 3 of them. The one for this camera, the one for my optics, and maybe a micro SD card, but it's very nice. USB. And this is something I definitely use. I also have a small clamp in case I glue something or I need to hang something. This goes with my fire making materials, some quick tinder and some wet fire. Just a couple cubes. That's part of the fire making equipment. I also have this little bag here with a bunch of accessories in it. Button compass, some line locks, some cord locks, earplugs, some paracord ends. I have a magnesium pencil sharpener in there and a little bit of crazy glue as well. So these are things that I've known I've used in the past and they always keep coming up again, so I keep these in there. Very handy to have to repair gear. I do have a small fishing kit in here. This is again one of those crossover survival items. It's a pre-built kit. I didn't build this kit, but it's in there. I have other kits that I built that are much more comprehensive, but I thought I'd just throw something in there just in case. Very small, compact fishing kit. I don't know, maybe this is the size of a 3-inch shell. I'll set that over there. Some wet ones, just 2 to clean up. Nothing fancy, in case your hands get grimy. I do have a peanut lighter in here. This is one of the newer ones that will tail stand. They're very nice. They do light several months later because they have an O-ring in them and they work rather well. So a peanut lighter. Now what I have here is non-residue duct tape. I have Gorilla tape, I have all those other tapes, but I don't like all that residue that stays behind on something, especially if you're looking to repair it down the road. And I prefer this. It works well, it holds, but it doesn't leave the residue behind. So just a very small hank of that around a spent gift card. And I also have some high temperature electrical tape, which is nice if you're doing any work on the boat, in the vehicle, anything to do with wires. This is really nice. So it's another small hank of that. This goes with fire making or perhaps removing some rust off something. 4 zeros, 4-0 steel wool. Just a very small piece. I have a sewing kit, complete sewing kit in here. This is a little military sewing kit. I do have some Kevlar thread in there as well. And this one has buttons, has the scissors, has the thread, pretty much has everything, even some needles in there. And that certainly comes in handy. And you could combine this with all the needles I previously showed you to repair a pack, a tent, or something else. This is just an adapter for the socket set. Put that over here. And this here is a polymer casing. It's a small container. It's waterproof. It's very lightweight. And I just keep an extra AAA battery in here for the stream light. And what I have here is just some rubber bands and 2 or 3 patches. Something very handy, something I've used before and I know I'll use it again. I mean, the name of the game is to really to customize these type of kits to meet your needs. And this is just another bag with assorted hardware in here. I have 2 very large safety pins, some smaller ones. I do have some screws. I have a ring here for keys. I have a couple of nails in there. And these are just some things I've used in the past. And I believe that about does it. So in summary, this kit is loaded with tools, it's loaded with solutions, it's loaded with yes, it does have some limitations, of course, but you can certainly use it to mend gear. You can use it to repair equipment. If you have a boat, if you have an airplane, if you have a snowmobile, if you have a motorcycle, you can customize a kit like this to meet your specific needs. You could take this fishing, you could take it camping, you could take it hunting. It's also handy around the house, it's handy around the office. It is comprehensive, it is compact, but I will say it's too heavy to carry in a backpack. So if you get a chance, please be sure to share your contents of your EDC toolkit. I hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time, and thanks for watching.